My book, Raise Them Up, The Real Deal on Reaching Unreachable Kids, there's a story called Snotty Nosed Kids. And just visualize that, snotty nosed kids, if you will. You got them? You got them? Okay, you got them. All right, perfect. Now somebody deals with snotty. Who was that? Who said that? Who got snotty nosed kids? Good. Okay, now, okay, yeah. Anybody else? Who else has snotty nosed kids? Y'all with me? Okay, okay, good, good, good. This is perfect then. I didn't even plan that. This came to life for me one day, and I happened to be writing the book, so it was perfect, and everything was a story. I was just kind of analyzing everything I came in contact with. But one day, I'm taking my son. I got two boys, two gorgeous sons. I don't want to go off on a tangent, but I want you really need to grasp how gorgeous my boys are. All right. And to the point to where they're always getting hugs. They got a large extended family. We never have a problem getting babysitters. People like them. All right. They get squeezed when they were babies. My youngest son had this big afro. He would get squeezed. You know, and actually my oldest son is the community programs baby, actually, because he was born when I was working their community program. But they get a lot of love, is what I'm saying. And so this particular day, I'm taking my son to the daycare. And we were just having a kind of a late day. I had a meeting a little bit later on, so I was taking it easy that morning. And I had him, so I'm taking him to the daycare. And I had on this starched white shirt, and that's important. I was clean. Let's just say it like that. I'm talking straight from the cleaners clean, all right? And heavy starch. And I'm taking my boy, and, you know, like I said, I'm loving him a little extra today. Just happy to be his dad, you know, it's kind of really what it boils down to. And as I take him into the daycare, and we exchange our hugs again, I open the door, and the door opens. All right? All this is important, so y'all stick with me. I put him down. Now, he's 2, 3. He can walk. But, again, it's just one of those days, so I'm carrying him. And I set him down. And when I set him down, something magical happened. All right? I looked out of the corner of my eye, and there was this little girl looking at me. And she had the biggest, prettiest brown eyes. And I'm a sucker for girls. That's why I told my wife, I don't know if I can handle a girl. I don't know if I would be the disciplinarian that I would need to be. But she's looking at me with these big, pretty eyes, and she's starting to come towards me. And as she got closer, I noticed something. Oh, man. It was like she had just snot. And it seemed like it was just everywhere. And it wasn't just clear snot. It was... yeah. All right. Now, picture this. Starched white shirt. All right. And it seemed like she had like some chocolate or something on her too. So it was like, I mean, I was horrified because I'm sitting here thinking, you know, and I'm thinking, what's happening here? She sees me hugging this kid. She's coming at me, and it was like, and so she's coming at it was slow motion. I'm thinking fast. I'm trying to figure out, oh God, what am I going to do? And so I'm trying to think through, and things that come through my mind. Okay, I was a basketball player, and we used to do drop steps. All right, and it's intended for me to just not see what's happening over there. I could have drop stepped. Remember the door? All right, so I could have just went back, got in the truck, drove off. Whew. All right, or I could have just played like I didn't see her, you know. Well, all right, son. You know, got in the truck. I could have said, no, little snotty girl, you get away from me. I'm not picking you up with all that snot in your nose. You're not my kid. Get away from me. Or I could pick her up. And I see how y'all looking at me like, boy, you better say he picked her up. If he didn't pick her up. I did. I picked her up. I picked her up. As the book will say, I picked her up, and just as quick as I picked her up and I gave her a little squeeze, and she just started kicking and told me to put her down. And so I did. I put her down. And then she walks over and is standing next to my son. All right. Now, I'm just having a head full of thoughts here. And as she's standing next to my boy, some things came to mind. You know, for one, I told you about all the love and affection that my son gets. So it's no big deal. He's used to that. But then I started to think about this little girl, and I said, man, I see all these other kids here. What if I was the last parent coming? What if that was it? Everybody else had already been there, and they pick option 1, 2, 3. And then I thought about that. I said, man, well, I didn't hug her yesterday. I had never hugged a little girl before. So what if that was the first hug that she had gotten? And then I thought about, man, her and my son are going to have a good day because she's happy, he's happy. So you got to reach that kid that's not your kid. You know that kid is always at your house wanting to eat all the time. And every time y'all going to practice, he comes jump in the van and you trying to figure out, why don't he go home? This is that kid. Okay? And so you got to reach out to that kid because I know if for nothing else, I want them to have a good day. Okay? But then it really started to hit me now as I began to drive off. I started thinking about, man, what happens when snotty nosed kids grow up? What happens when the kid that we don't want to touch, that we don't want to fool with, starts to grow up? See, y'all remember when I said the girl had big, pretty brown eyes, everybody was like, oh. And the snot didn't even bother. You still wanted to pick her up. And you telling me I should pick her up. But now, what about that kid that you're thinking about right now that's in your program that don't nobody want to deal with because his family doesn't have the money to buy the nice clothes, or he's always expelled and suspended and he won't act right in class and we don't want him coming to the program no more because he's disrupting everything? And I'm not trying to dictate policy at your program. I'm just saying that's what the kid looks like 10 years later. And that's the kid that we got to gear ourselves to connect with. Because if we can fix our hearts to love that kid, we'll get the rest of them. But that's the one. Because when he grows up, we want him out of our sight. He goes to prison. He's the one that doesn't get that love and those caring adults that I'm talking about. And so, snotty nosed kids hopefully takes on a whole new meaning for you now. But that's the one that I want to encourage you to reach out to.